Hi, my name is Bill Sood, and I'm one of the senior DJs at Divine Music, and I look forward to working with you on your event.
रख लै पल्ले विच मुखड़ा लुका के रख लै नीमिया तू कुछ चीर पा के रख लै पल्ले विच मुखड़ा लुका के रख लै एवें करी ना किसे दे नाल प्यार मुंडिया तू बच के रही नी तू हुणे हुणे होई मुटियार मुंडिया तू बच के रही नी तू हुणे हुणे होई मुटियार मुंडिया तू बच के रही
Whatever you at, babe, you can make the whole room stare. But you know that my favorite is when you're rocking that this is way.
O tenu suit suit karda, o tenu suit suit karda, suit karda, tenu suit suit karda. O ni tu lagdi punjaban, lagdi patola, lage ni tu saarya to vakhri, tenu suit suit karda. O ni tu lagdi punjaban, lagdi patola, lage ni tu saarya to vakhri, tenu suit suit karda. O tenu suit suit karda.
What's my name? What's my name? My name is Sheila. Sheila की जवानी. I'm too sexy for you, मैं तेरे हाथ ना आनी. Na 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 na. Sheila. Sheila की जवानी. I'm too sexy for you, मैं तेरे हाथ ना आनी.
कहान दी कुड़ी दे नाल यारी पै गई कहान दी कुड़ी दे नाल यारी पै गई दूजी चोरी दी बंदूक ओने मुੱਲ ले ਲਈ चोरी दी बंदूक ओने कहान दी कुड़ी दे नाल यारी पै गई दूजी चोरी दी बंदूक ओने मुੱਲ ले ਲਈ ਤੀਜਾ ਦਾਦੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਅਸਲਾ ਲਕੋ ਕੇ ਪਾਲਿਆ ਚੌਥਾ ਯਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਚ ਰਾਤੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਲਾ ਗਿਆ ਯਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਚ ਰਾਤੀ ਹੋਏ 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 ਖੂਨ ਡੀਜੇ ਦੇ ਫਲੋਰੀ ਉੱਤੇ ਖਿਲਰੇ ਮੂਵੀ ਬਣਦੀ ਸੀ ਖੜਾ ਜਰਿਆ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਗੋ ਸੋਨ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਪਿਆ बदनाम हो गया प्यार में मुंडा बदनाम हो गया
shake that thing, miss? Can I shake that thing, miss? Can I shake that thing, miss? Can I shake that thing, miss? Woman, get busy, just shake that booty non-stop. When the beat drop, just keep swinging it, get jiggy. Get drunk, up, percolate anything you want, because it's oscillate it, and don't take pity. Want to see you get life on the rhythm of my ride, and my lyrics up about electricity. Girl, nobody can do you nothing, cause you don't know your destiny.
ओ पंजाबी बोले ना, ओ पंजाबी बोले ना, ते मैं इंग्लिश विच अड़दा सी। ओ मेरी लुक ते मरदी सी, ते मैं ओदे लक ते मरदा सी। ओ मेरी लुक ते मरदी सी, ते मैं ओदे लक ते मरदा सी। ओ पंजाबी बोले ना, ते मैं इंग्लिश विच अड़दा सी। ओ मेरी लुक ते मरदी सी, ते मैं ओदे लक ते मरदा सी। ओ मेरी लुक ते मरदी सी, ते मैं ओदे लक ते मरदा सी। पिंड दी पिछली फिरनी उत्ते हुंदियां सी मुलाकातां, इक्को छतरी थल्ले किन्नियां लंघियां सी बरसातां। पिंड दी पिछली फिरनी उत्ते हुंदियां सी मुलाकातां, इक्को छतरी थल्ले किन्नियां लंघियां सी बरसातां। बरी बिजलियां कड़कदियां, मैं हत्थ ओदा घुट के फड़दा सी। ओ मेरी लुक ते मरदी सी, ते मैं ओदे लक ते मरदा सी। ओ मेरी लुक ते मरदी सी, ते मैं ओदे लक ते मरदा सी। मैं खूह ते गन्ने च पौंदा रहा सी, बन के यार नवाबी। पहले हल्ले उछल गया तक ओदी चाल शराबी। मैं खूह ते गन्ने च पौंदा रहा सी, बन के यार नवाबी। पहले हल्ले उछल गया तक ओदी चाल शराबी।
Informer, you know say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like you bum bum down. Take the man that says that I'm a snowman, stamp somewhere down the lane. I like you bum bum down. Informer, you know say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like you bum bum down. Take the man that says that I'm a snowman, stamp somewhere down the lane. I like you bum bum down. These are them come in and they blow down my door. Rain it up all through my window, so they put me in the back the car at the station. From that point on, I reach my destination. Where the destination region at the east detention. Where I look down my pants, look up my bottom. So informer, you know say that I'm a snowman, I go glam. I like you boom boom down. Take the man that say that I'm a snowman, stop somewhere down the lane. I like you boom boom down. Informer, you know say that I'm a snowman, I go glam.
सिੱਧੀ ਸਾਦੀ ਜੱਟੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਪਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਹਣੀ, ਪਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਹਣੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰੇ ਤੂੰ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ। ਸਿੱਧੀ ਸਾਦੀ ਜੱਟੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਪਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਹਣੀ, ਪਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸੋਹਣੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰੇ ਤੂੰ ਮਿੱਤਰਾ।
Turn down for what? 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 You're a honey singer. की कहानी पीली रेड वाइन मैंने पुरानी, लाख रोका था यारों ने, के ना कर तू मनमानी। सुनो कल रात की कहानी पीली रेड वाइन मैंने पुरानी, लाख रोका था यारों ने, के ना कर
चोरी साडा हो गया ओए की करिए नैनों में किसी के खो गया ओए की करिए ओ मैडम तेरी चाल तेरे सिल्की सिल्की बाल अब मैं इससे ज्यादा क्या कहूँ मैं नशे में टल्ली हो गया ओए की करिए दिल चोरी साडा हो गया ओए की करिए
Bass drop. Out. You got $100 bill, get your hands up. You got a $50 bill, get your hands up. You got a $20 bill, get your hands up. You got a $10 bill, get your hands up. Single ladies, I can't hear y'all. Single ladies, make noise. Single ladies, I can't hear y'all. Single ladies, make noise. All the chicken heads, be quiet. All the chicken heads, be quiet. All the chicken heads, be quiet. Yeah, baby, stop this. Scoop, bass, seven, sing along, come on.
I never knew
Turn up.
there was love like this before.
All the good looking women sing along. I can't hear y'all.
Never had someone to show me a love like this before.
What's your zodiac sign? What? What's your zodiac sign? I can't hear y'all. What's your zodiac sign? Yeah. Out. If you got more hair, get your hands up. If you got short hair, make noise. If you got more hair, get your hands up. If you got short hair, make noise. If you got more hair on your head, ladies. If you got more hair on your head. If you got more hair on your head, from your ear to your sleeve, even if you got a weave. Can I get up? Can I get up? Can I get up? Out. Can I get up? Can I get up? Can I get up? Out. To all my niggas that hit it from the back, who wanna have sex with no strings attached. Yo, can I get up? Can I get up? Can I get up? Out. Can I get up? Can I get up?
Yeah, so I've been a DJ for a very, very long time. I actually can't remember how many years it actually is, but I'll tell you where it started from. So when I was very young, I used to be a wire boy for my uncle as he was a cameraman, and he used to go to many events, and I used to get to see many types of different DJs, and that's where the love actually came from. So what was happening was I was going to events, I was seeing how they perform, I was seeing the sound system, I was seeing the crazy lighting, and I took a liking to it right from the start. So when I first got my first ever job, part-time, I would save up and I would buy a sound system, and I bought a really good sound system, and from that sound system I started doing small parties and many different types of events. And from that, my confidence grew. Once my confidence grew, then I started to take it a little step further. I actually started contacting all the senior roadshows, the discotheques is what they used to call them that time. And I introduced myself to them, and I decided I wanted to work for them. And the one thing that's really, really important to remember about that is I never did it for money. I actually went out there and just became a roadie for them and watched what the best do. And what I did is I took all the best bits about them out, and once I took all those best bits, I decided to focus on myself and grow myself as just a freelance DJ. As a result, I was doing many events, and as I grew up, I ended up going to clubs. I started doing club events. From club events, I then took more of a liking, and so I carried on doing maybe about 3 years of club events. And from that, I decided to do weddings. And today I stand in front of everyone else now doing the finest events at hotels, and especially for Divine Music. So I met Amit a very, very long time ago. After many conversations, I came aboard, and it's the best move I've ever made, and having so much. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes to preparation, to be honest with you. I mean, as a client that you come see us, you probably don't know the things that we're thinking about. So it's my duty, and it's very important for me to sit with you and take you through everything that's going to happen on the night. You may have many types of different events in themselves going on. You might have dancers, you might have many different things. So it's important for me to understand what you've got going on in your event with your planner and your organizer. As a result of that, I will tailor my style around your event. So we'll talk about your entrance, we'll talk about your cake cutting, we'll talk about your first dance, we'll talk about all the songs that are very important to you and your family. We want to make sure we play those and make them feel really special. And then it's my personal touch. me making it absolutely amazing, me hosting your event perfectly, giving you that little tingling feeling when you walk into the venue, and really, really interacting with your crowd. Absolutely. I think the most important thing is I will bring to the table all my types of music that I think would make your party absolutely phenomenal, the classics all the way to the current. And another thing I'll do, which is really, really important, is I'll ask you to get involved with your music playlist. You know your crowd really, really well, and it's important for me to understand that crowd. I usually say to clients, you're more than welcome to give me up to 30 music tracks of your choice that you like to hear another night. Now, what that'll do for me personally is it'll give me a gauge, give me an idea of what you really want to hear on that night. Plus, it'll make sure I tailor my style around your music. As a result of tailoring it, I can give you the best party ever. I can bring my style, but unless I hit the tracks the way you want to hear them, I won't hit the mark. So I'll work with you prior to the event, right up until the day, to deliver on the music side of things. I think interacting with the crowd, I think is really, really important. When you're doing an event, you don't want to be an MC. An MC can overtake and it can spoil the music. I will host your event. That's the most important thing I need to say from this. I will interact with the crowd. I'll play games with your crowd. I'll actually make you feel special. So throughout the night, I'll be giving you shout outs. I'll be making sure I interact with the groom side, the bride side, put you guys together, maybe even do dance-offs. It really is about the night and at that moment. When we're in that moment, we'll just create and we'll host the event throughout, so we keep everyone engaged continuously. I think as a client, you guys have got a lot going on in your mind. And for me, you don't need to worry. The most important thing is you give me the itinerary. That's the first thing. With the itinerary, I'll go through it with you and we'll work through it and make sure everything flows. I mean, your organizer will have a good idea of what they want to do, but at the same time, I'll make sure I put my input into that. And I think what's really, really important is I will arrive early at your event. I'm not going to be arriving late or middle of it as something else is going on. We'll be there offloaded well before we need to go into the room. That means we can take our time, we can create the perfect moment for you and make sure everything looks perfect in every sense. At the same time, I'll give you an opportunity. If you want to pop in and have a look and see everything, want to change something, we can change it for you on the spot, because we've got enough time to do so. I think preparation for me personally is very, very important. I'll create music folders for you guys with your music in there. So when I'm DJing, I make sure I incorporate that in there alongside watching your itinerary throughout the event. And you'll be surprised. Quite a few events do run over. My job as your host will to actually be to manage the timings as well, work with your organizer to make sure we get that enough dance in there, make sure you get your cake cutting properly done, and it just looks synced.